There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans are the biggest threat to democracy.
This means war. That is where we are. We are at war with these people. These folks are evil.
And all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
This means war.
If you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons.
We are at war with these people.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It's time for the monologue and the Q&A. And if you're on subscribestar.com, sign up there for $2 a month. Or if you're on the preparedmind.club, actually the more preferred way, well, again, if you're there, it's only $2 a month, and you get to join us live Monday through Friday and ask the questions, bring up the comments, the statements, the subjects. Man, have we got a plate full of stupid. It's clown world, folks, as shit hits the fan. I've got a lot to talk about. And I wanted to start with that new piece there that was done by Mr. T, who does a lot of our promo stuff. He went and picked out all of those things that Democrats are saying about us. We're evil. We're calling for riots and violence. That sounds like Mad Maxine Waters and the current Vice President, Camel Toes Harris. They're the ones that encouraged, promoted riots and everything that happened in the 2020 Summer of Love, right? Burning, looting, murdering, attacking police. That wasn't Republicans. That wasn't America Firsters. That wasn't MAGA. It was Democrats. These people are such gaslighting liars. I mean, how else do you say it? They're just fucking liars. All right, let's do this. Let's start on some topics, right? I mean, just to show you what a bunch of jackasses these people are. Biden claimed today, right out the gate, he claims that he ran for office, right? Quote, to restore decency, honor, and to treat people with respect. Okay, half the country is Republican and the other half of the country is Democrat. And it's split pretty much down the middle, they say, even though most of the Democrats are probably dead, even though they're still voting. So let's just assume, for argument's sake, that it is 50-50. And after we get rid of or discount the children in the census, that let's just say that leaves us with 250 million people. So 250 million leaves 125 million people who are Republicans, right? So in order to treat all 250 million voters, adults, with respect, Biden calls them a threat. His punditry calls them evil. Half of the voting country, 125 million people. How is that going to restore decency or honor to the White House or to the government? It doesn't. This is another mega failure. Not a Make America Great Again, not a MAGA fail, but a mega fail. An Uber fail. But it just goes to demonstrate how noseblind these people are to how bad they stink. I mean, they stink it up, folks. Beyond comprehension. These people are that just off. I mean, here's another example, but let's go overseas for this one. And again, if you remember, at thepreparedmind.club or at subscribestar.com, guess what? You get links to all these news articles I talk about and more. Oh, and a lot more when it comes to Jim Jones juice and cerveza bug and some topics that we're not allowed to talk about, you know, where the big social media gods will rain fire on us. All right, so overseas in Dutchland, not Deutschland, but, the Netherlands, the Dutch agricultural minister, and this guy has a hell of a name. His name is Henk Staghouwer. They got some cool names over there. Too bad this guy isn't very cool. All right, remember the Dutch agricultural minister, Henk Staghouwer, and the government over there said, hey, we need to shut down cattle farms, right? He resigned with no warning. He just came out and resigned. Well, it says he's not the right man for the job. You think so, dickhead? Really? I think the right man for the job that you've been doing would be Hitler or Stalin, right? A communist or a Nazi would do the things that he has done, trying to ruin their country, their agricultural production, their food supply. Unfrickin' believable, folks, where these people get off. They're just going to destroy everything. Then go, well, I think I'll resign now. Borky. Yeah, these people are just perfect. Perfect for office. Now get this. I mean, speaking of clown world, right? Fauci, right? Dr. Dark Helmet, Doom Dickhead. He's still spouting off. And he won't go away, folks. They don't want to give up cerveza bug, the Jim Jones juice. They don't want to give up power and control. Dr. Dipshit says Americans will likely require a yearly updated cerveza bug injectione that we call the Jim Jones juice.
With COVID, I mean, the things that we thought we knew in the beginning turned out as the months went by to not be the case, which really forced us to adapt and to change some of our policies and recommendations. That was interpreted by many as flip-flopping or not really knowing what's going on, when it really was the evolution of the science.
Fuck you, Dr. Fauci.
Yes, F you, Dr. Fauci. I just had to get that in. I just wanted one F you, Dr. Fauci, because it was so perfectly done. We were told that it was going to vaccinate the population, that it was necessary. We were told that it was both safe and effective. And then we were told, no, well, it's not really. It doesn't stop you from getting it. It just makes the symptoms less bad, and it stops you from transmitting it to other people. And then when it didn't transmit it to other people, they said, well, it'll make the symptoms less dangerous. How can you know unless you get it and then get it with the Jim Jones juice and see if it's any less? How the hell do they know? They don't know. And this little bastard is a flip-flopper. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Wear a mask. Masks help. No, they don't. Wear 6 masks. You may as well wear a piece of chain link fence on your face, because that's about as effective as these masks are. The only thing they're good at doing is catching snot when you sneeze. I mean, and even that's questionable, right? These people won't give it up, folks. This little bastard knows he is going to get in trouble. He knows he's going to get in trouble. And so he's continuing his sales gimmick. He really is, folks. What's his sales gimmick? Right. His sales gimmick is scaring people. It's fear. Absolute fear. That's all this guy has. Now, I mean, this whole video, this whole presentation is about the clowns, these just abject idiot clowns in Congress, in power, in the bureaucracy, and how wrong they are and how they keep deluding themselves and shuffling the cards around and pea and shell game, right? Now, this report came out. Nancy Pelosi already has a backup job in case she doesn't get to be Speaker of the House again. She asked, according to news reports, asked President JJJ Biden to make her, get this, ambassador to Italy. And the United States of America, the government, does not have an ambassador to Italy, and Italy is pissed off about it. But he's keeping that position open for Nancy, just in case. I think the mob just might lose their connection, their power in the District of Columbia. Go ahead and look that up. Check out Nancy's family, folks. I mean, where is this going? These people won't give up, folks. I mean, this is crazy. I guess I gotta go here, man. I gotta go here now. No, I'm gonna go this other. I'm gonna go this other direction. Remember Jussie Smollett? He was attacked at 2 a.m. when he went to buy a submarine sandwich in like 10-degree weather in the middle of a Chicago winter, and he was attacked by 2 supposed white supremacists who threw paint on him or some such shit and put a noose around his neck, threatened to kill him, and it was all a fucking lie. Well, apparently there's a German Jussie. That's right, folks, a German Jussie. The Smollett follies continue, trying to gin up racial tension, which is ridiculous, right? Whether you're black or white, who gives a shit? It's about freedom and liberty. Sick of this race baiting crap, but they're still pushing it in Germany even, folks. One of these leftist socialists, and he's considered a green politician, has resigned, folks, because he got caught, right? Inventing, creating, bullshitting, and lying about Nazi death threats against him. But he's the one that did it to himself. You see, this ridiculous technique is not just an American phenomena, but Jussie Smollett really kicked the door wide open on the clown world. Absolutely clown world. Now, before I get to one of the big enchiladas that I have, and folks, it's like the whole broadcast is a giant enchilada fest. Just wow. 1 second. Okay, there we go. All right, I call this the Beaver fever, or is it the Jim Jones juice pain? I want you to take a wild guess about this. Is it the Beaver fever, or is it the Jim Jones juice? Folks, Justin Bieber, yes, the one and only. He was cool as a kid, then he wasn't cool, and then he became cool again. Justin Bieber has canceled his world tour over physical and mental problems following a facial paralysis episode. Wow. What has been going on in the world, folks? What has been going on in the world? Well, we don't know. Nothing has changed, so this is just strange. Yeah, they tried claiming it's some other rare disease. It's funny how frequent now rare diseases have become. Rare disease. Rare disease. There's something out there that is not rare, and it's people having strokes, heart attacks, seizures, blood clots, pulmonary problems, lung problems, right? Vision issues, hearing issues. And it's not Beaver fever. Unbelievable. Okay, quick reminder, get your questions into Jolene so we can pick up in the second half with your questions. It is the monologue and Q&A. And I want to thank everyone who's been shopping at thepreparedmind.club for your prepper goodies. Because, folks, prepper goodies, pretty important. Pretty important. Now, some really big news, and I covered that this morning, is that we've got some serious problems. I'm going to start with this, folks. OPEC is cutting oil production. What do you think that's going to do to the fuel price, the oil price, the gas price, the diesel price? What do you think that's going to do? Right? Get ready for wave 2 of fuel cost increases, folks. And remember, JJJ Biden, he's here to save America. He's the great uniter. Remember that fucking name? Great uniter. My ass. Right? Biden does a fist bump with the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. A fist bump. He's that cool, folks. Nope, forget about it. Fuel costs going up. But then there's this. I called this one energy pain. Folks, trillions of euros are going into the mega printing program. The Swiss, the Finns, and other countries say, quote, liquidity. That means money printing. Liquidity support is going to be needed. There's serious pain, folks. It's tied to energy. It's tied to the failure of these currencies. The euro, which has been nothing but a boon and a bane and a flop since its creation. I mean, they've caught up in Europe to our American screwed up program that took, well, 100 years to screw up completely. Well, and I guess they screwed it up in the 1930s, and then they screwed it up in the 70s, and then they screwed it up in 2000, 2008, and it's on its last leg. And it's, yeah, energy pain, folks. And then part two, right? Let's blame Putin. It's always Putin. It's always Russia. I mean, have you caught on to this thing, right? There's a problem. It's Russia. Russia collusion, right? Trump, Russia, right? This is the claim, folks. More rabbit ears. Putin has pushed Europe into an inflationary depression and currency collapse. Folks, the only thing Putin has done is said, go fuck yourselves. If you want to sanction Russia and use the dollar as a weapon and the SWIFT system as a weapon and boycotts as a weapon, trying to financially hurt Russia, use that all as a weapon, then why doesn't he just cut off the gas supply? Well, lo and behold, folks, that is exactly what they have now done. Energy pain, inflation. Money printing, pain. Folks, it's all SHTF pain, whether it's the Beaver fever or the big bad bucks in your pocket going bad, right? I'm sure if we could, like, weigh a dollar bill on a scale every day, it would just feel lighter and lighter and lighter. Unfreaking believable. Now, I'm wearing the red shirt, right? That's a signal. Whenever I wear red or yellow or orange, right, I'm trying to get people's attention with the color. People need to wake up. This is not a joke. There is something going on behind the scenes that's bigger than all the other crap we're already talking about. This was really fascinating. And I could not believe the headline. There's a quote from Hillary Clinton. She believes she needs to speak. Right? She says, I can't believe we're still talking about this. Right? She lashes out at Clinton. I'm sorry, at Trump. Hillary Clinton lashes out at Trump. She says she had 0 classified emails on her private server. Now remember this, folks. She had 33,000 emails wiped. She had a private server in her basement that was unsecured, that was illegal, a felony. She didn't get prosecuted by the FBI or James Comey. She had her pay-to-play scandals. Yeah, there's no chance of any wrongdoing. And did I mention she took all those cell phones, government cell phones, she and her staff, and smashed them with hammers? And so she wants to come out and says, I can't believe we're still talking about this. Yeah, that was, folks, we're still talking about Trump and Russia, right? But we can't talk about Hillary. She must be very scared, folks, if she feels that she has to come out and claim she had 0 classified emails. I don't think they were classified. They're probably top secret, eyes only, right? Yeah, CIA, whatever the hell those are classified as. Yeah, she's a liar, so we should really believe her, right? But I think, seriously, there's some shit going on. And she's afraid, right? Remember the last time she came out with something like that? It was this, I can't believe. No. It was, what difference does it make now? This was a couple of months after the Benghazi slaughter of Americans. She was like, what difference does it make now? It's like, they're dead. Who cares? What a bitch. Anyways, let's go to not the wannabe commander-in-chief Hillary, but the very scary commander-in-chief, JJJ Biden. You know, the big guy, pedo Hitler himself. This is the same clown who can order a willing Department of Defense and a willing Pentagon to attack patriots, his own citizens. Right? He kind of got lost on stage today, folks. And he started mumbling. And I'm going to see if I can say the word he mumbled. And you can translate it. Rededudunenefit. Rededudunenefit. Nedifit? What the fuck does that mean? This is, like I said, this is the same guy who says you're a threat to democracy, the soul of America. Who other Democrats are calling all Republicans the enemy. And there's no distinction between MAGA Republicans and other Republicans. No distinction whatsoever. Unfreaking believable. And these people have their finger on the nuclear button, right? A clown can start a nuclear war. That is incredibly frightening. Oh, thank you. Backcountry Preps just sent a funny one through. Too bad I can't read it because it would upset some feelings out there. Now, I do have something I want to read. This happened. This is a short story. It comes from a subscriber here on thepreparedmind.club. And it's a story about something that happened. And the thing that I think is important is that we all understand we can go from everything's fine to personal SHTF. And we have to decide up front ahead whether we're going to get involved or not, to what extent we will become involved. Here's the story. And the name has been changed or not included at all to protect the innocent. There was quite a skirmish early this AM on the train. I got a couple body bruises. Tried to stop 3 thugs from attacking a young woman. Thank God others helped and the thugs were handed to police at the next stop. My bruises are mostly from being pushed out of the way from the real men who stood up. I had my sidearm if it got uglier. I'm going to attempt to sleep, but myself is telling myself not to, right? This was my very first incident since all this crap started happening. Just regular citizen, folks. Prepper, patriot. How many times have we seen these videos where these thugs on trains or on the street start beating the hell out of old folks, young folks, or playing the knockout game? Well, some other men stood up, and this woman stood up also at the beginning. She got, shoved around, knocked out of the way. But she had her concealed carry also in case things did get out of hand. That's how fast it can happen, folks. Minding your own business. Some thugs want to get busy with a girl. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what's going on. This is not the America I grew up in, folks. We now live in clown world. You want an example? I'll give you an example. And once again, we got about 5 minutes left. I want you to get your questions in. I've got a ton of topics, but I want to give you guys a chance to get your 30 minutes in, right? Unbelievable, folks. Energy bills in Europe. And we talked about this on Sunday Night Live. Energy bills are so high in Europe that game shows, it looks like a Wheel of Fortune, game shows are making prizes out of the game show paying your energy bill. The electricity bill. It's so much money that it now seems like winning a small lottery. How crazy is that? Unbelievable, folks. That's how bad it has gotten. Now, I also wanted to talk about this. Last week, I reported on Turkey and Greece threatening each other. Continuing, this has been an ongoing issue, folks. But yeah, these are both NATO countries, right? They're both ugly sisters in NATO, except Turkey is the second largest military in NATO, second only to the United States of America, meaning Turkey has a bigger, stronger, more powerful military than all of Europe. No one else in Europe has a bigger military. Boy, that would be crazy if Turkey left NATO and decided to join the Russian BRICS Union, Russia, China, India, Brazil, South Africa, and about another dozen other countries that have decided to join that side. Anyways, Turkish media has essentially entered a war footing with Greece. Right? Liberals, folks, liberals and idiots will fight anyone. These people are fighting with one another over there. And guess what? It's over liberal policies. So Turkey wants to send immigrants into Europe through Greece. And Greece is like, no way. We don't want that. And they've been fighting over this and other things. Well, you can't say that Erdogan is conservative because he's pushing this crap on Europe, making it happen. So I still continue to question Turkey and its role. I think that they are actively engaged in sending, and this is just my satirical, skeptical, cynical view. It is my opinion that Turkey is doing all it can to destabilize Europe by sending as many immigrants into it as they can to suck off the blood, to be parasites on Europe, because it's beneficial to Turkey to have a weak Europe. What do you think of that? You know, unbelievable. And it is, I mean, the thumbnail for this video, the clown mushroom cloud, it fits perfect. I mean, get this. Like Lewinsky, and everyone knows what it's like to get a Lewinsky, right? Everyone knows the Lewinsky joke, which was a reality in the Clinton White House. Like Lewinsky, Italy's Salvini has broken with the rest of the continent, the rest of Europe, and said, quote, end energy sanctions against Russia because we are on our knees. Right? Italy is breaking, folks. Oh, maybe that's why Nancy wants to go there and be the U.S. diplomat to Italy. It couldn't be because she would have a private swimming pool, right? Gardens, a wine cellar, and get paid a shit pile of money to live in the lap of luxury at your expense. Well, that's part of the package, but I'm sure she would love to bring her style of politics over to Italy. But yeah, Italy says we're on our knees. They're broken, folks. Other countries are breaking. This power, electricity cost is breaking Europe, breaking them bad. I mean, get this. In England, 6 in every 10 manufacturers are at risk of closure. 60% of UK companies aren't closing because of Cerveza bug. They're not closing because of lockdowns. They're not closing because people won't put on masks or get the Jim Jones juice. They're closing because they can't afford the electricity that they need to make things. They can't afford it. People can't afford a 20 times, 2,000%. I'm sorry, 1,000% rise. Jeez, I got to get my story straight here. It is from $50 to $1,000 is what the average person is paying. Right? That's 20 times. That's 2,000%. There's the math. I got it right. I passed basic math. But yeah, can you imagine 6 in 10 manufacturers closing their doors? Can't stay in business. We have had problem after problem after problem since the Jim Jones juice hit the news. from the lockdowns, the fear, the bullshit, the arrests, the supply chain issues. Now people can't afford electricity because they've started a war with Putin, tried punishing him, got the energy crisis going, along with OPEC cutting fuel. Are you seeing a problem here? I know you are. I know you can see it. They created this. They have pushed for it. In fact, there's a news article out there how the World Economic Forum, right, the power elite in corporate and banking are causing all of this intentionally. That's right, folks. Intentionally. Have no doubts. It is intentional. Let's do this. Let's get to your questions. It is time for the Q&A, the question and answer on the Prepared Mind channel. Get your questions in, anything, any topic you want, and we'll address it.
Are you ready?
Here we go. Jolene's got a few wrapped up. Now remember, you can talk about a person's place thing, history, future predictions, you name it. Or you can play Stump the John, which is a fun game. All righty, Jolene, who do we have up first? We've got D-Man. He says, please ask John to comment on the Fed Now system that the Fed is pushing as a substitute for the central bank digital currency. Like, what the heck is this thing really? Well, I'll tell you what, man. I don't know what these frickin' people are doing. Let me address it this way. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. If the Federal Reserve knew what they were doing, we wouldn't have hyperinflation. If the Federal Reserve knew what they were doing, we wouldn't have the interest rate issues we have. If the Federal Reserve knew what they were doing, our economy would be strong, because that's really what the Federal Reserve is supposed to be about, right? Maintaining a proper monetary supply and trying to keep inflation at a certain level and employment at a certain level, right? Their employment numbers are ridiculous and off the hook because of other policies, other social engineering policies. People can't work full time because, then there'll be healthcare requirements. So companies are like, screw you, we're not hiring you. People have to get part-time jobs here and there, the gig economy. They want to take away cash, folks. That's a big part of this central bank digital currency, the CBDC. They can't figure out paper money and a standard way of doing business. What makes anyone think the Federal Reserve and the government can make a digital currency work? See, the dollar is failing. Whether it's digital or paper, it's worth less. And it's worth less all the time. Now, here's my take on this Fed Now crap, right? They want to push a multi-currency system. They want a currency for domestic use, a currency for international use, but they've really screwed the pooch, right? Russia and China, they don't want to play along, as well as other countries. Russia and China have split off of the US dollar. They've sold back and said, we don't want your treasury bills, your bonds. We don't want to support America that way anymore. So they're selling that off, right? They don't need the US dollar anymore or a central bank digital currency. And they're trying to go to a gold or gold-backed system, at least a partially gold-backed or commodity-based system. Right? Russia wants gold in exchange for its energy that it's selling to Europe, either directly or through, shall we say, wholesale intermediaries. Like any country that'll haul their energy to Europe, and Europe will pretend like, yeah, we don't see that coming from Russia, but put it over here. We need it over here. Come on, bring that Russian energy over here. Right? But Russia wants gold. And the United States and Europe is pushing paper crap, digital dollars, right? And they can't administer our monetary system properly. And they've screwed up the financial system, and they've screwed up the economy. those three legs that government has been charged with maintaining: currency, financial system, and jobs, the economy. They've jacked it all up. They don't know what they're doing and what they're talking about. The Bank of Japan, folks, was considering a central bank digital currency of their own, and then they went nada, not doing it. This is after years of saying, it's coming, we're going to do it, it's going to be great, right? Bitcoiners and other cryptocurrencies are concerned about the central bank digital dollar and other influences and requirements, restrictions that are going to be put on these digital currencies because they're scared. They don't know. They can be proclaimed illegal anytime, right? And so there's just no telling which way this is going, folks. Cryptocurrency people are very confident that they'll have value in the future, right? But the government, it's incredible. Their incompetence knows no limits. So stand fast, just stand your ground, be prepared, right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. All right, let's take a look at another question if we shall. And it is East Texas Country Boy. And he says, in my opinion, we're playing a rich man's game and the deck is stacked against us. There is no win in our favor. The house always wins. All we can do is prepare in order to limit the amount of pain we feel. This is an interesting statement you make because there's a couple of tangential topics that we can have in regard to this statement. It is a rich man's game and the deck is stacked against us, right? The house always wins is a phrase used to describe casinos, right? Every game a casino has favors the house, whether it's a card game, a dice game, a computer machine, it doesn't matter. Roulette, it always favors the house. You may feel like you have a winning chance, but you don't. Right? The deck is stacked against us, but that doesn't mean you have to play their game, right? That's what prepping is about. It's not playing their game. Instead of relying on the government, you rely on yourself. Instead of relying on corporations, you prepare and have everything you need for yourself. Prepping. To the maximum extent, yes, you are correct. We can limit the amount of pain we feel, but we're going to feel pain. But so will the rich. The rich men are going to feel a whole lot of pain, folks. That's what their concern is how much pain do they have to feel? How much of a haircut do they have to take on their wealth? The house will win, but, right, who is the house? Right? Imagine being the house, the casino, and you're like, I won. And they got this big old stack of money, and they take it to the bank, and the bank says, we're taxing that. And then the rich guy's like, hey, wait a minute, I thought I was on the winning side. And it's like, no, even you guys that are rich don't get to win. Very few will win this. What I'm in the game to win, East Texas Country Boy, is my freedom. And the freedom for my countrymen and for the world. That is my goal. Let's step it up and keep on moving. We got some great questions coming up and statements and comments and this and that. And we got Stefan says, imagine that your government is a foreign occupying force and it is trying to kill you. Then it all makes sense. Well said. Yeah. Imagine the government is a foreign occupying force and it is trying to kill you. Then it all makes sense. Well, the United States government, which is headquartered in Washington, D.C., not a state, is a foreign occupying force that has force, power, military, law enforcement, judges, courthouses all over the country. It is occupying 50 sovereign states to the best of its ability, trying to convince us that it is the rightful authority. But there is nothing in the Constitution that I have read that says it has a right to regulate, control, or write statutes to control the people. The federal or United States national government was instituted originally to perform a very few tasks and to protect this country and deal with other countries outside. In other words, the federal government was supposed to look out at other countries and deal with them on a national level and not look inside the country at us, the people, and tell us what to do. So yeah, if we're being occupied by them, what does it look like they're trying to do? Yeah, kill us. Cut our power, our electricity, our energy, our food, trying to dominate our lives and tell us how to live and what property we can own, and threatening us with F-16s, F-15s, nuclear weapons. Wow. Unbelievable. Thank you, Stefan, very much. Great topic. Moving along, we move on to Vincent Boyle from Belfast, Ireland. Hello, Vincent. He says, just announced today, electricity supplier putting up prices by 56.3% after a 28% jump in July. How marvelous is that? I mean, this is month after month after month, folks. Now, I was pretty pissed off during the first couple of years with Obamacare, right, where we had high insurance costs, health insurance. And then what happened? Well, the next year, because of the Affordable Care Act, it was unaffordable and went up 40%. And so you take that 140%, and the next year went up another 40%. And it kept going up. But folks, 40% of 100 is 40, but 40% of 200 is 80. So every time it jumps percentage, your percentage is added to the aggregate, all that other numbers that are being added. So yeah, 56% on the new cost of electricity is probably more like 100% on the original. Anyways, thank you for the report from across the pond there, Vincent. I don't envy you, man. And America is not going to be far behind. We have serious problems over here with blackouts, rolling blackouts, shortages, and other issues being caused by government agencies, bureaucracies, and elected officials. Whew. Okay, let us move on. We got a lot more to go, folks, and a little bit of time to get it done in. We got Blue Cord Devil. And he said, just saw a news article. Guy went into a convenience store. Thug walked up behind, stole his gun out of his coat pocket. Secure your tools, people. Well, Blue Cord Devil, I hope all is well in the family. You know what I'm talking about. Prayers to you, buddy. And I'll say this, yeah, I can see keeping your sidearm, your piece, your tool, your freedom seed spreader in your pocket, but keeping it secure. I think that's pretty important. I mean, a lot of people have holsters of various types with locking mechanisms, and they have open carry. It's pretty brazen for someone to have their gun stolen. But we have to understand thugs, thieves, scum, murderers, drug dealers like St. George Floyd. They don't have what I call a whole lot of brains or common sense, do they? If they did, well, they would probably use what brains and common sense they have to live a good life. They have rather low IQs and a low respect for other people in their party. So given a chance, right, they will take something off of you, whether it's your wallet, your phone, or your handgun. Secure it, folks. Protect it. If you're going to carry it or wear it, be very aware of it and those around you, because you are in a much higher, shall I say, potentiality. A lot of people, a lot of these thugs, right, they're looking for people to victimize. And if they see a piece on somebody, right, they're going to do the best they can to get it. So yeah, be very careful, folks, because they may take it from you and then pistol whip the shit out of you. Unbelievable. Okay, let us move on. And we've got Mikey G. He says, another step towards all-out communism. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness. Nationalize the power companies. Those words came up in an article I saw. Mikey G says, the government is so efficient in everything they do. And he says, I call it the reverse Midas touch. Everything the government touches turns to shot. not gold. That is correct. It is the feces touch, especially with Biden. Now, it is incredible, folks, right? President Zelensky, I love calling him that, of Ukraine. Yeah, President my ass. Voldemort dipshit has warned Europe to brace for a bleak winter because Russia, cut off Nord Stream. But then Zelensky came out and says, well, we'll sell you gas and oil. Zelensky's going to sell gas and oil to Europe, folks. Well, but first, before he does that, he wants more weapons. That's right, folks. The little creep says, I'll give you energy, but give me weapons first. Right? Europe and the United States of America have been handing this little asshole in his country money. And we know that it goes to the big guy. We know that it goes to other politicians and bureaucrats and scumbags and oligarchs in Ukraine. They're stealing it. But he has the guts to say, well, pay us, right? Give us weapons on top of it. What a turd. But the concept of nationalizing energy is now coming up. Can you imagine the Biden administration nationalizing energy, what that would do? And when I say nationalize, folks, we have to go back to school. Economics 101. Communism, socialism means, well, the government owns the property. Now, in fascism, that version of socialism, the power and the ownership in that company is retained by individuals or the shareholders. In communism, the government says, we own it, we control it, and we control the prices, right? That's pretty important. It's pretty important to note that, yeah, there could be some big trouble, folks, if the country swings more communist and they don't do anything right, folks. They've failed and fucked everything up so bad. You think we should trust them more to set prices, which is one step short of nationalizing everything? When the government sets prices, look out. I mean, seriously, look out. Unbelievable. Okay. Let's move on. I know we got some more questions. And Bonnie Blue checks in and she writes, it is all about control. And I agree 100%. This is about controlling everything, everyone. It's control of you as a human being, us as a people. It's about control of our wealth, which is our property and our currency, our money. Now, Bonnie Blue says, whether you can buy or sell, heat or cool your home, travel, speak in public, worship your God, etc. That's right. Government wants to control everything. It does. Socialist government, Democrat government wants, well, the Church of Satan in your school. They want drag queens teaching your children. They want LGB teachers keeping the gender identity, the secret identity and name and pronouns secret from parents, while they continue to, what's the term? Groom. They want to groom the kids. That's what these people do. They want control of the minds of the people. Now, you and me, most of us are too old, too experienced, too smart, and too damn tired to play these games. Right? But children, they're warping their poor little minds. Now, I've noted in the past, and it is part of history, that if you control the minds of children when they grow to adults, then the government that controlled their minds now controls them as voters and citizens. I was raised and taught, always question authority. You should always question authority, especially when it claims that it's the authority. Now, there is some good news that did come out, and that is that parents are rejecting the notion of the Jim Jones juice and boosters for children. That is not going the way they want it to go, folks. A very small number, most likely hardcore Democrat idiot parents, are the ones getting their children juicinated. Poor kids. That's all I've got to say is those kids are born into a family that is going to send them in a dangerous direction. Now, something else came out. I caught a commercial, and the commercial was for getting a seasonal flu shot. This is a warning to people who normally get flu shots. I'm pretty sure that I saw it said flu/cerveza bug, meaning flu Jim Jones juice shots. They're combining stuff, is what it appears to me. I don't trust these people. There'll be no sticking me with anything. I've never gotten a flu shot. I know people that get them every year. I know people that say, well, sometimes I get sick, sometimes I don't. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Well, we know what the Jim Jones juice is all about, folks. And I was pretty disgusted when I read again from more undertakers, those that deal with the dead, about the gooey, slimy clots that clog, infest the cardiovascular system of dead people that they're getting. You know, if you're already unhealthy and you get the clot shot, I'm sure it just pushes you over the edge. And they say, oh, his diabetes got him. Oh, he had a heart attack. You know, he had a bad heart. Oh, he had a stroke. Well, you know, he's had strokes all his life. It wasn't the Jim Jones juice, though. Oh, no. It couldn't be that. Right? Can you imagine? I remember these in anatomy classes, right? They talked about heart disease and how your arteries are big, but they get filled with cholesterol and they get tighter and tighter and tighter, and less blood can get through. And then the heart kind of can't keep up. It can't get the energy it needs. And you have a heart attack. You get heart disease, right? The heart is starved of nutrition. And so that's your heart attack. Well, can you imagine, right? We're supposed to cut cholesterol and don't take salt and this and that and the other, but they're going to introduce something into people's blood systems that creates clots. And we're supposed to believe these people have our best interest in mind. I don't see it happening, folks. These people have no interest in our health. It is all about control and controlling the size of the population. To finish off that thought, they want to control the size. All right, let's move on if we shall. We've got Alan checking in. The left, meaning the socialist, communist, Democrat, fascists. The left serves a purpose for the globalist billionaires. Destroy the U.S. as a culture with national sovereignty in favor of global totalitarianism system run by the World Economic Forum billionaires. You just said exactly what the plan is, man. That is the plan. The Democrats and Rhino Republicans, I don't want to forget them, folks. Nobody gets to say that I show favoritism. If you don't put America first, if you don't think America should be great, then you're un-American. If you're a leftist, a socialist, and you want to take away people's rights, whether it's First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, Seventh, Eighth, 10th, then you are not an American. You're a traitor to your country. Freedom and liberty come first. After that, we can figure everything else out. But yeah, they want to destroy the United States, not just the culture. This is where I'll add to what you have there, Alan. It's not just the culture they want to kill. They want to kill the economy, and they have. The financial system, and they are. The monetary system, and they're on their way. The educational system, take a peek. The military, any questions? The legal system, why don't you go to court and see how that works for you? Yeah, we're engaged in a civil war against the political socialists, folks. Whether they wear the mask of communism one day or the mask of fascism the next, they do serve these oligarchs, technocrats, aristocrats on a global level. Globalism, 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 right? They want to run everything on the global level and ignore sovereign boundaries. They've been pushing this a long time, and now we're seeing the consequences of allowing foreign money to influence American politics, society, entertainment, etc. Oh, as well as protests. People like George Soros, right? They need to be arrested, indicted, if you will. They need to be extradited to America and stand trial for interfering on a criminal level and causing criminal actions to occur, right? I'm sure if Putin was caught directly financing protests that caused death over here, Putin would be on one hell of a list, right? All right, let's move on. We got a couple more, and we're running out of time. And we got James Nicholson. He's got a question. He says, good evening, John. If we undid everything that hashtag pedo Hitler broke, wouldn't we just go back to energy independence and bring inflation down? It's a great question. It would be great if we undid everything that pedo Hitler, hashtag pedo Hitler Biden has done. If we started the Keystone Pipeline back up, it wouldn't immediately fix anything, because all of those companies took their equipment, all of those companies returned supplies, all of those companies were supported by communities that are broken. They've been broken because those communities slowly built up to support the pipeline, and those business and livelihoods and families had to go somewhere else. All that has to be restructured, restocked, resupplied, and reinstituted. It's going to take time. And that's just the Keystone Pipeline. How about the ports, where these union thugs have decided that they don't know how to unload ships very quickly? That they don't know where these shipments go. And that the truckers that take things from the port to the rail yards, they seem to have forgotten how to do their job. And the rail yards, they seem to have forgotten how to do their job. Funny how the unions, folks, unions, right, which are liberal supporting groups who are socialist in nature, have fucked everything up. You can't fix stupid, folks. They don't believe in a free economy. They believe in collective bargaining and fucking people over, making sure they get raises while the rest of the world suffers with this massive inflation. It's a shit show, and there's no simple solution or answer, but we can take steps to push things in the right direction. One of the things that would help is energy independence. Yes, it's going to take a while to get that turned back on. You know, all of the permits for exploration, for infrastructure, for pipelines, for trucking, everything that's needed for energy independence has been shut down by Biden. Right? We need massive nuclear power plants built on a massive scale right now to make up for the energy shortage that we're suffering from, and the energy shortage that's going to continue, folks, continue as they push more EVs. I mean, California says, hey, buy EVs. We're going to outlaw gas engines in 10 years. Yada, yada, yada. By the way, don't charge your electric vehicle, your car, because we don't have enough power to do it. Really? Really? All right, let's move on if we shall. We got Bonnie Blue again. Question. Is it possible to nullify the IRS if Republicans would run on replacing the income tax with a national sales tax? Or do we have to amend the Constitution and get rid of the Federal Reserve? Well, the IRS is a bureaucracy. The IRS is not owned by the Federal Reserve private banking system. There's some information that would lead us to believe that the Federal Reserve is a Puerto Rican corporation. You know, I've done a lot of research, looked around, but the IRS is just a bureaucracy. It can be it could be, what's the word, nullified. It could be moved. So what would the question I have is, what would the government use as a tax collection service? Right? They could give the IRS and say, yeah, we're going to go to a flat tax. Well, someone has to audit the flat tax. Or they could say, okay, let's go to a national sales tax. Right? And so how would that be monitored? What agency, right? What taxing authority? So as much as I would love to see it, you know, they're not just going to go away. My fear has always been that we'll get a flat tax with a sales tax together. It's not like they're going to get rid of the IRS and the income tax, the progressive socialist communist income tax that we have. It is progressive socialist and communist, folks. It always has been. And it's gotten progressively bigger, progressively worse, progressively more intrusive, demanding, and, well, dysfunctional. And yeah, they're going to hire 87,000 additional agents, many of whom will have badges and guns because, you know, Grandma Nana is so dangerous. I think we got another question. Let's get to it. Let's do it. We got Blue Cord Devil. He says, statement has been gone the last few days. Wife is doing so-so, but was our anniversary on Sunday. Well, that's a good thing to end this video on. Happy anniversary to you, Blue Cord Devil. I'm glad the wife is doing so-so rather than really bad. And I pray that she does better as the days move forward. Folks, as the days move forward, you need to get better prepared. Get prepared at thepreparedmind.club. Tell others, share that internet address up there so that people can get prepared. It's critical at this time, right? There's no time to lose. And it's better to be a day, a month, a year early than to be a single moment too late. Because when it hits the fan, right, you're not going to be there. You can't get it done. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Godspeed, Semper Fi. Aren't you glad you are a prepper?